good evening, good morning, good night, you lovely citizens, the one, the only Cappy D Bar, and we're here to discuss some goddamn wrestling. Hope all of you are having a good one. However you catch this, whenever you catch this. Now, I understand you guys are probably really accustomed to my, very well structured, very well put together, some would say the most thought out intros of all time, with my dates and my pay-per-views and my shows aligning so smoothly, all right, and so seamlessly together. Unfortunately, I have gotten a little bit of the sleepless bug. So my days for the past 2 to 3 business days have just been melding together. It's not very fun. I thought Wednesday was Monday and I thought Friday was Sunday. Oh, we are going through it, ladies and gentlemen. We sure the fuck are. So instead of giving you guys Collision and Friday's night Smackdown, in a cute little bundle package, I'm actually going to do something a little different. We're going to do Ring of Honor and then we're going to do Collision. And Dynamite and Smackdown is just going to be its own little contained episode. That's contained little potatoes, small potato, big potatoes. This potato that we are talking about right now is going to be AEW's Dynamite 4, and do not quote me on this, August 17th. Not 6 days ago. It wasn't 17th. August 19th, 2026. The best part about this Dynamite is that it's star-studded. It's packed to the gills with stars, all right? And I'm a mark, okay? I'm a mark at heart. I hate to break it to you, all right? From Swerve to Mercedes to Willow to Kenny, all right? Even with some of the matches that we get from niggas like Nigel McGuinness, this is a very hard Dynamite to dislike. So we're going to be getting into it as briskly and as easily as we can so we can cut directly into Friday's night disappointment, all right? All right, first thing I'm going to ask is, do you see that like button? All right, do you see that subscribe button? Hey, man. Hey, would you like to make a commitment to a little underwater background, YouTube channel? Maybe, huh? Maybe that's something you want to do. Maybe leave a little comment. Also, you know what? I'd greatly appreciate it, all right? Greatly appreciate it. Let's just talk about this, right? England is in store for some shit, okay? Tony, we know the second he gets closer to these pay-per-views, he gets more insane, he gets crazier with the booking, and, if it's any constitution about, if it's any consolation for what we get for Collision for this week, reasonably, Dynamite's going to be fucking insane. They're going to be in England. They're only about 10 days out from All In, Wembley Stadium. 40K tickets have already been sold. So they might hit 50. They might hit 45. We don't know. They've already outsold SummerSlam Night 1 and 2. So, hey, it is what it is. We have a very, very rich history and a very rich story between not only Ospreay, but Mr. Omega, the cleaner, the best bout machine. And personally, I'm a very big fan of Kenny Omega and his work during this run. I think Kenny is putting everybody to fucking shame. I think when you look at this promo, again, compared to anything Punk or Roman's doing, honestly, anything that anybody else in that company is doing, right? When you look at Kyle Fletcher, when you look at Kevin Knight, Kenny is just on top of the title division. It is what it is. The only person that could probably give Kenny a small run for his money is either Willow or Thekla, maybe Mercedes if she's ultra locked in. For the most part, Mercedes has been extremely locked in for this Willow feud. So really solid, very, very solid aspects from this Dynamite. First match of the night that I think definitely, again, sets the tone for what we get for this Dynamite. Is going to be a fatal 4-way between Chris Statlander, Persephone, Sheeta, and Maya World. Now, the biggest asset to this match is hands down Maya World. But, the biggest thing about, Maya World is that the potential for her to go either heel or face, it never really wavers. She is extremely in the most respectful way possible, very easy on the eyes. She is a extremely competent, very skilled in-ring performer, and she doesn't cut a horrible promo. So whatever direction they want to take her, I really hope they pull that trigger and they execute it properly, all right? Because we really don't want another Tiffany Stratton situation when you have somebody who, again, is just jaw-dropping, who isn't horrible in that ring, but the creative just doesn't have anything. So hopefully Maya gets something, but again, she looks great in this match. Sheeta, Persephone, everybody looks fucking awesome. Chris Statlander, Statlander strap daddy. I didn't expect her to win, but again, the effort that she exhausts in every match is kind of the same with the Jamie Hayter. It just makes you believe that they'll go over. Like, if you would have told me every single match Jamie Hayter locks up for, she will be winning off of how she wrestles, it would make sense. Chris Statlander has that exact same passion, that exact same explosive nature. Very, very big fan of Chris. Maya World obviously goes over in this match, but this is women's wrestling. Women's wrestling, starting your show, never going to be too peeved about it. Or at least it was the first match that I directly caught. I might be catching this in chronologically, but very, very solid showing from this Fatal 4-Way. Next match that we get is the Switchblade versus Jon Moxley. Jason versus Jonathan. And one of the biggest things I'll say about this match is Jason White, right? Jay White, Kill Switch, the king of the Bullet Club. He has such a flawless way of executing these bumps and these sells. You would think that Mox was in there killing him. You would think that Jason White is literally getting killed right now on live television. And it's funny enough because these two have locked up in the past, and they have a, again, checkered past, checkered history going back to New Japan Pro, with Jay White having 2 victories over on Moxley. So this is a very big moment in their history, right? And especially with the Continental Cup, everything that we're getting with the progression of the mid card and the top card, how they're kind of softly melting together, and this new, essentially this new erosion that AEW is going through to make way for the new kids, to make way for the new graduating class, if you would. And again, Jay White, you know, he's fucking defiant, right? He refuses to just get left behind in the past with the rest of the dinosaurs. His blade cutters are beautiful. His reversals are beautiful. There's a couple of parts where they spill out into the outside, but Mox kind of uses that to his advantage and uses the outside as a way to escape a pin, or use it to a way as, evade, a diving elbow drop or whatever that Jay White wanted to pull out of his arsenal. He looked very, very, very good in this match. Moxley, what else can I say about Mox? There are no blades, but I feel like internally Mox bladed himself. He gives it his all. He gives it his fucking all. For this match to end how it ended with the Death Rider drop, and then that leading to a kick out, which eventually led to Jay White getting put in this insanely compromising bulldog choke. This submission specifically for Mox, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful submission. The way he executes it, I'm such a big fan of. I think it definitely fits his character, and it fits with the in-ring psychology of somebody who is ready to kill somebody to get that 1, 2, 3. And that's what it's all about, huh? That's what AEW is all about, baby. All right. Biggest aspect that I will give to this match is they are true to their word. There's not a single person ringside. Not Marina Shafir, not Claudio, not Jason White, not Jay White's butler. Austin Gunn isn't here. They really stick to the Continental Cup rules. No time limits, no outside interference, and it's good. Very, very, very good match from these two. And again, I think you could even make an argument that if Jay White hypothetically did want it to have, a little, let's say, tension with the Bang Bang gang now that he has lost this one match, I'd understand it. Anything that he wanted to do, continuing in the faction world, being that he kind of more or less got stiff-armed out of the singles division, I'm also okay with. I think Jay White has the talent to kind of, adapt to whatever environment you want to put him in, whatever creative they want to give to him. So whether the future for this is a heel break off, whether it's a faction or stable renaissance within AEW, I'm with it because I know that Jay White will be at the forefront of either of those stories. I'll be honest though, I'll be transparent. It's a little worrying how many people come out here, following this match. After this match, the dogs come out. After the dogs come out, the conglomeration comes out. After the conglomeration comes out, I wish I was joking. The Demand come out, and after the Demand come out, I apologize. The Demand come out after the Good and the Bad and the Ugly. So now if you're keeping your finger on the pulse, 4 different factions are now standing out here. 5 if you want to include the Death Rider somehow, some way, because the dogs are simply a successor legion to the to the Death Riders. That's a Warhammer reference. I don't know if any of you are into Warhammer. That's a Warhammer 40K reference, huh? Look at me. I got layers. I'm an onion, huh? I'm like a cake, all right? Got so many fucking layers. I just wasn't a fan of it. There's a lot. There's a lot of niggas out here, and I'm just like, I feel like we could be executing this better. I don't know how. I don't know why I feel like this. Maybe it's Ricochet coming in, like, all right, I'm here, now speak. It was like, you don't even add anything to this, brother. Like, you, Bishop Khan, Jack Harlow, sorry. I'm not trying to corpse. But it's like, yo, I'm not even joking. I don't think Ricochet or the Swirl really add much. They don't add much. We're going to be speaking on them when we talk about ROH's pay-per-view in the next video. But this is a little extra. It seems like Tony is just like a here, nigga, damn. Like, here, nigga, damn. All right, I don't know what to do with Hangman. I put him with Bandito. Everyone wants to see Bandito go for the world title. I'm not doing that. Tony's a funny nigga, man. Tony's a pretty funny nigga. No, but I'm assuming what they're trying to do is like a whole, and I could be so fucking wrong here. I could be really missing the ball. They could be doing a like trios gauntlet match where every single faction has to, you know, fight in a trios match, and the idea is if your team gets eliminated, or maybe if one person gets pinned, let's say the demands in the match, it's a trios elimination gauntlet, and just Ricochet gets pinned, not Tialona and not Bishop Khan, right? Then that means that demand will be, you know, eliminated because like a member of their team. Listen, I know we're kind of trying to stretch this as far as we can. I would love to make sense of this. It's a little hard. It's a little hard. There's a lot of factions out here, and then I think that it definitely muddies the waters. It definitely doesn't make the conversations of there being, quote, too many belts. It doesn't make it a completely invalid argument, but one could say that there are too many talents going after only so many belts, right? Because who's to say that, Bishop Khan and Toliona, after, you know, how many months of trying to get the trios titles, that once they get it, you know, they decide maybe we want the tag belts, you know, like maybe we want to do this, maybe we want to do that. I'm worried when FTR comes back because Stokely's damn near a third man. Or is he going to be in these trio situations that we have going on Dynamite? I'm not sure. Personally, not that sure. But how do I put this? I think when you have so much potential, it has to have an endpoint. And when it doesn't have an endpoint, it seems messy. So if somebody wants to criticize this specific segment with the good, the bad, the ugly, and Hangman, Bandito, and Brody King, and their situation going off the trios belts as messy, I wouldn't have a good argument for that, because it's a tad, it's a drop of directionless, you know, and it is what it is. We speak on this with the women's division all the time. Where is the endpoint? What's the roadmap? And I think for this specifically, I think the roadmap is just kind of process of elimination, literally. Next segment on the night, all right, we have Willow Nightingale, the champion that never stops smiling, and Mercedes Moné, the motherfucking CEO. I'd like to make just one claim very clear and just very blanket, right? The idea that AEW doesn't do stories, complete hogwash, bullshit, don't believe it, all right? It's complete tabloid nonsense, fake news, if you would. It doesn't track with reality. Willow Nightingale is out here telling an amazing story of how somebody who has never once doubted themselves can measure up and even exceed the expectations of somebody who has done nothing but backstab, steal, and cheat. Shout out to my nigga Eddie. And it really does seem like these, not these insults, because obviously everything is a tad of a work nowadays, but it does seem like these, these attacks, more or less, if you want to call it that, they're getting under Mercedes' skin because they are accurate, right? Mercedes has never held that world title, and you could argue maybe that's because Tony always wanted her to be a face, and she was never really received like that outside of like literally Boston, Massachusetts exclusively, or it's because the timing or the booking was never correct. So this is such a simple 101 black hat versus white hat, cowboy, old western tale, right? One guy, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but one gal wants the keys to the city. The other girl has already worked her ass off and she has bled, sweat, and cried to get her way to have the keys to the city. And now we're just looking for a good old fashioned knockdown, drag out brawl. And boy, diggity oh diggity, do we fucking get that. I love the intensity that Willow Nightingale puts into all of her fucking attacks. All of them. She looks like it is her prime objective to tear the head off of Mercedes Moné's shoulders. I'm so in love with it. Hey, so in love with it. The way Mercedes plays like a chicken shit heel, the second she gets in the grasp of security, she gets all feisty and chihuahua-like, hypothetically somebody who is trying to, have an illusion of owning the moment, have an illusion of having all the power. That's exactly what they would do, right? The second that they're in security's clutches, and reasonably, Willow's not going to be able to fight security more than once. We'll get to that. Then Mercedes is going to be she's gonna portray herself as a tough guy, as the big bad, and the second that security's not there, she's just like a flailing victim trying to get her arms up, right? Listen, This is a very, very good brawl segment. And you guys know me. If you guys know me, I fucking despise brawl segments. I think the closest thing to a reasonable brawl segment that we had in a while is when Randy put this nigga Cody out of commission for what was like 3 or so weeks, right? That was the closest thing to like actual, okay, these niggas is actually doing something out here for me, right? Or when Americano Grande and the OG Americano with Chad Gable, when they used to get their shit on, stiff, believable graps, right? This shit right here, mwah. Fuck, it was a masterpiece watching Willow deliver these attacks, and then Mercedes like shoot selling them, just like wincing her face up, like like fuck, that kind of hurt, bro. And the promos that these two cut on each other, right? And I'm not trying to be like a head ass. It's very reminiscent of like Mariah May and like Toni Storm. I feel like these are promos people are going to look back on in 3 to 4 years and go, oh no, this is what made AEW. This right here is the lifeline of these feuds and of this company. It's stories that can be backed up with an amazing wrestling bout that maybe has a second layer in a year's time, because we have given these wrestlers grace enough, even with like Hangman and Swerve, what they're doing now with the whole trios thing and the New Day and all this shit. New Day are most likely going to be in Wembley, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Like everything that they're doing with all of these different pieces of their single continuity. There's never been a second AEW. There was never a situation where two people left WWE to come to AEW and tell a story. No, like the story of Willow versus Mercedes has been brewing for Lord knows how long. And as I stated on my previous other videos, we are going to get a Bianca and I'll just say the name Sasha, for the name of should I say Mercedes? Because I feel like when I say Bianca and Mercedes, a couple of you niggas get a little slow. So I'll just say that, and hopefully everyone's tracking. Their stare down moment with the crowd going crazy for 30 straight seconds at WrestleMania, that will be replicated with Willow and Mercedes. I'm telling you that shit right now, and I am so fucking excited for it. I think this feud has been gas. I think even people like Jim Cornette hopping on this bandwagon, it shows that this is going to be something generational in television. This is going to be a generational match, and hopefully Dave Meltzer has the fucking cojones to review this match. Huh? Come on, Dave. Come on. Brian directly telling you to fucking review this. Mr. Alvarez, Tony Khan's biggest critique. My apologies. Tony Khan's biggest critique. Why am I butchering this word? Critic. Fucking hell. Tony Khan's biggest critic, right? Telling you to review the match in your face. Come on, dude. Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing, Dave? So main event for tonight, all right, which is again amazing main event with a good story. We're leading into again Ospreay and Omega, everything that they had with that backstage segment when they talked about COVID, when they talked about their history. Again, both of them needing Don Callis, Will Ospreay keeping himself up at night, thinking about what he did to Kenny Omega's career with that screwdriver. Right, there are so many pieces and just pockets of just good lore and good old-fashioned storytelling, right? Kenny Omega telling Ospreay, after I do this shit to you, after I do what I'm about to do to you, your son's gonna need a new hero. Your mom's gonna be just fine though. Like saying shit like that and then going out to wrestle to be cheered. Only so many niggas. Only so many can do what this nigga Kenny is doing. We talked about this. There has to be a clear face and heel, like break. You have to have a break in the, in the kayfabe, right? Even though everyone loves Kenny, everybody loves Ospreay. It's home territory for Ospreay. It's fucking Kenny Omega. I doubt less than 40% of Wembley Stadium will be at least somewhat cheering Kenny. But to take the steps that Kenny is taking, oh yeah, no, this is good. This is good eats. This is good eats. So let's talk about the match very briefly, right? The Elite in Kenny Omega, Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson versus the Don Callis family. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, it's Mark Davis, Jack Doyle, and Hector Cero. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong in any one of those gentlemen. I believe those are the three from the Don Callis family that Kenny Omega and the Elite go up against. Biggest critique, that I'm gonna give for this match, all right? I will be Tony Khan's biggest critic for a while, for a little bit at least. The Young Bucks got to get reined in. The Young Bucks got to get reined in, man. Yeah, the Young Bucks, they have to be reined in. They do like those tag team moves for like 15 straight seconds. I'm like, ref, somebody do something. I'm on second 20. I'm on 22. What's going on? They do these combined moves and the ref just watches. I'm like, nigga, is this a tornado match? Is there no disqualification in it? What are we doing? What are we doing, huh? Personally, though, as I've stated, one of the biggest pluses about this tonight is Kenny Omega. He looks great. I mean, the guy comes out after telling Ospreay to piss off, and he's light. He's literally light. Like, look at this photo. That's not fucking a Photoshop. He did that. It's great. I mean, Kenny Omega is a phenomenal wrestler. Okay, the match itself. Can I be frank? No, it wasn't anything to write home about. It was a match. It was a Dynamite main event with Kenny Omega. I'm not gonna pretend like that's not a plus. It's a very run of the mill match though, right? After this match is what I think the most important part is. You know what's so funny? I think Tony Romo's in this match, or to Tony Romero, Angel Romero, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. I think he's in this match. I feel like I'm remembering him. No, you know what? I apologize, chat. I'm thinking of his match on Collision. Got my wires mixed for a second. So Ospreay, funny enough, the guy that Angel Romero was wrestling on Collision, Ospreay comes out at the end of Dynamite after this big win. The Bucks kind of more or less retreat back, into the locker room so Kenny can do his whole spiel and celebrate, right? Ospreay says, bruv, you talked about my wife and my kids. I'm going to snap your fucking neck, right? And it's pretty funny, right? Because the brawling Brit, all right, Billy Ospreay, he seems very convincing. And even during that promo he cut with Kenny and Renee Arquette, it genuinely seemed like there was levels of that promo that were painful and that were, at least to a certain extent, they were difficult to discuss, right? Like Ospreay's neck, Ospreay needing help, Ospreay having to retreat back to his quote unquote heelish ways. He didn't seem very proud of that. And it seems like, vice versa, like he is very proud and he is very courageous to stand on his 10 about his family, which again, great 101 face gimmicks right here. Like we're watching like wrestling back in the fucking Carney days. Very simple shit we're watching, right? Kenny then, God, this guy's great. Kenny, he absorbs everything that Ospreay said. And we have watched Kenny's behavior increasingly get worse and worse and worse throughout the night, right? He says to Ospreay, I only have 2 words for you. Security, get him the hell out of here. It's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. After he does this, like, it's pretty fucking funny, right? Kicks Ospreay out. He's still talking shit to Ospreay. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break your neck. I'm gonna put you back on the shelf. I'm gonna show you what's what. I'm gonna send you back to the little boys table where little boys belong. Ospreay says, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bruv. He runs in and he attempts to, again, try to get some like really solid offense, maybe even a blade cutter off on Kenny, right? And I'm such a fucking mark. I'm such a fucking mark, bro. I'm such a mark. The security guards that are dragging Ospreay away. By the way, shout out to all the security guards tonight. I forgot to mention there was a segment with, I forgot to mention in the segment with Willow and Mercedes. Willow started clubbing down security guards and the security guards were selling. Oh, fucking goosebumps when she did that shit, right? The security guards for this segment, right, with the holding Ospreay, and they got this nigga by the arms, and Kenny hits the most devastating V-trigger I've ever seen in my life. And I literally started marking out. I'm like, you fucking bitch ass niggas, where's Willow? We need more people to beat these security guards up. Bro, they set this nigga Ospreay up. Okay, if you're gonna ask me, I think that those two were on Matt and Nick's payroll. Just my personal suggestion, right? Bro, Ospreay gets hit with the V-trigger, then this nigga Kenny, bro, he's so fucking crazy. He sets up a table. And I wish I was joking about any of this. Everything I'm about to say out of my mouth is completely 100% non-fiction. He sets up a table. Ospreay's still reeling. If you ask me, I think that the two security guards are trading kidney shots with this nigga Ospreay, right? He's completely out for the count. Bro, he sets up this table, brings Ospreay to the apron, and tells him, I'm gonna let you look at the title one time, you son of a bitch. You wanna do this to me? You wanna sit here and do this shit to me? I'm gonna show you what's what. I'm gonna show you who's who. Look at the title, you stupid idiot. He hits him with a one-winged angel off the apron, through the table, onto the outside area. And then he just starts taunting. He just starts emoting. He starts emoting with the eyes of a man who has been blessed by the God of War himself. He looks like he is completely ready to take on maybe all of the United Kingdom. Maybe all of the United Kingdom. Maybe every single province that exists within London proper. Kenny Omega looks like he's ready to one-wing angel all of these niggas. All of these niggas. Heel. It's as clear as day. Kenny Omega is 100% the heel for this feud. And again, truth be told, I'm not mad at it, chat. Like, I'm really not mad at it. I think, again, one of the biggest pluses about Ospreay is his ability to make you believe. Ospreay has that amazing gift of gab where he can just make you feel something, whether that's in ring or on the mic. And I guarantee you that Kenny Omega is not going to have some quippy, the entirely class act, response to this, because he's kind of losing his fucking mind. He's kind of going a little bit Green Goblin, and I fucking love it, bruv. bruv. I fucking love it, bruv. Okay, that was pretty much everything that I had for Dynamite. All right, Dynamite was pretty good. You know what I might do? This might be the end of the video. Maybe we do Smackdown later, huh? Nah, I'm not gonna do that to you guys. Come on, it's me. Come on. All right, we're gonna be discussing Dynamite for August 20th, 2026. Biggest aspect, the biggest aspect that I think changed the dynamic of these Smackdowns is that I'm literally viewing them after the G1 Climax, Ring of Honor, and Dynamite, because boyo, you wouldn't believe who counter-programmed Friday Night Smackdown. You know who it is, man. The one and only Tony Khan. Now, we're going to talk about it, not in this video, but we are going to talk about ROH. And man, oh man, are we going to talk about ROH. What a fucking great pay-per-view that was. And again, them having the cojones, the nuts, all right, to put this up against SmackDown. Woo! Real shooters. Real fucking shooters. Since we're on SmackDown, and I feel like, unfortunately, I kind of buried the lead, so maybe I'll try to find a cute little way to edit and snip this video up. Ilya Dragunov has departed from the Federation. Now, it's not a situation of him getting fired. It's not a situation of him walking out like I suggested Mello, Otis, Ivy Neal, and Fraxium do. No, his contract just expired. And now he's out of here. Gone. Woof. He's in the wind. If he wanted to go to New Japan Pro, he could. If he wanted to go to Maple Pro Wrestling, he could. If he wanted to wrestle, all right, in your uncle's beer fucking, in your uncle's liquor shop's basement, he could. And all of those places, all of those promotions, even your uncle's liquor store's basement would genuinely have better creative for him than this company. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. You have Ela right here. You have Trick right here. You have Mello right there. You couldn't make anything out of any of them. Nothing out of any of them. We know how the formula is going to go. We're not going to get a chronological, in-depth, completely well thought out, Harvard level, dissertation of what happened for SmackDown. Because these niggas don't deserve it. They don't. Simple as that. The idea that Ring of Honor in the year 2026 put belt to ass on you niggas, generational. Simple as that. Generational shit. Let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this for a couple seconds. They easily made one of the worst decisions that they could have made. Easily one of the worst decisions that they could have made was making Sammy make sense. Because everything that Sammy says to open up this night, creative looks like a bunch of fucking drooling morons, a bunch of knuckle-dragging numbskulls, right? Sammy's speaking to Nick Aldis very clear, very candidly, without a single stutter or hiccup. Nick, you said I had a 1v1. After all the names and all the taunting that has been going on around here about me not being able to get it done, me being a crybaby, and me not wanting to do the work, I put my boots on, I was doing the work, I marched down to the ring. And now the entire thing gets thrown out, and now we're in just another, we're literally just in another cacophony of chaos. There's not a single moment where Nick Aldis says, you know what, you're wrong, and here's why. Not a single moment. You want to know what happens after? He says, why does Randy get an opportunity and I had mines genuinely stolen from me? The match was supposed to happen and it didn't happen on account of a drag out brawl that was never even really certified as a match. It was just an ending part to your night. Oh, it's a brawl. It's a brawl. Ah. Now, when Randy shows up and he tries to little dog Sammy, it's like, Sammy, you're being a little bitch again. Sammy, you're doing it again. But it's like, he's doing what? What has Sammy said that was incorrect this entire time? Nothing. The creative does this week after week where they'll make Sammy say something completely true 100% reality based, and then they'll have everything around him pretend as if he's looking at Ghost. Like there's Ghost in the room. Sammy says every single time I walk out there, I'm supposed to get an opportunity. It's snatched up by the wrestling gods. You niggas, by the way, are the wrestling gods because you control the show. And they look at him like he's speaking fucking Korean or something. It's, man, it's a headache. It's headache inducing. It's headache inducing. I wish to not think about it anymore. Cody and Randy go out there and just rehash the same thing they did last week. These niggas literally pull a fucking Punk and Owens. Hey, what are we gonna do? The same thing we did last week. That should get him. That should really get him. The same thing that they did last week. It's not a joke. There's no creativity. There's no actual drive to make something happen. It's just, let's make it work. Let's make it work to the best of our abilities, even if we know it isn't going to work. They pick up exactly where they left off. Well, Cody, you never said he was going to kill the legend because you can't do it. Because you're a face. Because you're a good guy. And you'll never be a bad guy like me. And it's like, okay. I swear to God they did this leading up to WrestleMania. Like, bro, hand on the Quran. Hand on the Quran. I swear they did this before WrestleMania. You're not a good guy. You don't have what it takes. I will get number 17 and I will surpass you. And it's like, what? Randy, brother, we all know you look better with that world heavyweight title. We all know that. So why are we even doing this? Why are we even doing this? Cody has like my apologies. Punk has like a small brushing of the shoulders with Randy. And it's like, thank you, Tease Man. Meet Tease Man. He teases people. And that's all he does. Then he goes home. Not impressed. This women's division, dog shit. Shite. I don't even want to talk about it. I won't talk about it. I don't. Intentionally. On purpose. Man, you know what? Let's rip off the fucking Bandit. I was going to talk about the MFTs. I was going to talk about Chelsea Green. I was going to talk about a lot of things. Fuck the MFTs. Fuck that belt with its interim politic bullshit situation that's going on. Fuck all that. Let's talk about Blake Monroe. Let's talk about it, right? Blake Monroe was scouted. She was scouted, right? Some would say poached off that AEW locker room. Now, off the AEW players bench, right? Now you can make the argument that, you know, Stephanie Vakir, Blake Monroe, even people like Matt Cardona would never enlist their trust in Tony Khan because, you know, they're just too entitled because they're too indebted, you know, to the cock and the balls of the doofus son-in-law. So, you know, for that reason, they just eat slop. They take slop and they go on about their day collecting their checks. Blake Monroe hasn't had a singles match on Smackdown for weeks. 4 weeks. I'm thinking back to when Blake Monroe debuted on, she debuted on NXT. And you know what her thing was? Being a chicken shit heel that won't and can't fight until she won a single feud with Jordan Grace, won another feud with Jada Parker, and then she was just called up. Because again, fuck Tony Khan. And we will do anything we can to belittle or besmirch his name. Even if that means completely burying the talent. Because I promise you what's going on back there is they're looking at Blake Monroe, then they look at Tiffany Stratton, and they see an entire gap in quality, a complete gap in quality. And for that, they go, oh, you know, we're thinking about having Tiffy wrestle B-Fab this week. And how about you hit the gym with Michael P. Hayes? We're going to get your timing down. You know, we know that company over there doesn't really do the whole wrestling thing. So we're going to make sure you're a good and adequate wrestler before we make you have a match. You know, Blake's going to respond, but Triple H, I already did the NXT gimmick, yeah? Well, that's the thing, Blake. It's just a gimmick. You see, we didn't keep you down there to develop you like we did with Mello and Ela, you know, so we can waste you in the mid-card. No, we did that to piss people off, and it worked. Now we're pissing off more people. Money's big. Money's real big. Those are the conversations that Blake Monroe and Triple Kirk are having in these halls, or in those halls. There's nothing for Blake Monroe. There's fucking nothing. They don't want her as the mid-card. They don't want her. Because you want to know why? In the last company, she was a world champion, a respected and authority, and she was a respected and authority commanding heel. with a world title. How do you think it looks now? She comes over here with a United States belt. It looks bad. Maybe you should give her some fucking matches. Julia walks down the ramp. She's playing a face. I had no idea Julia was a face. Could have fucking fooled me. Nobody broke that news to me. I must be late. I must be unsubscribed from the newsletter. Blake Monroe then marches down the ramp to clonk Julia right upside her head. They have a brawl for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. The match is just thrown out, completely unstarted. Blake Monroe says, if you want me if you want to see me really wrestle, I wish I was joking, chat. I want to wrestle the injured interim champion, not the real champion, and not anybody who isn't injured. I want to wrestle the injured interim champion. After just saying, I want a real match for a real championship. I want a real match for a real championship. So I'm going to wrestle the injured person with the interim belt. Does any of this make sense to anybody? I know it doesn't. Jordan Grace, obscurity. They don't have anything for her. Ivy Neal, obscurity. Michin, nothing, nada. Eat this pin, baby girl. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. Jade, nada. They've been running the whole, all you do is fuck Dom and tell us about it for Stephanie and Liv for literally since WrestleMania. This women's division's cooked. They don't have anything for these ladies. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. But honestly, when y'all jumping on Liv Morgan's back, rightfully so, for her having for her having a boyfriend who believes in conversion therapy, my biggest point about her part of that Raw was how wasted she is. That was such a layup for the political rant. I didn't even get into it because it's fucking depressing how they book these women. It's depressing. Sol Ruka goes out there. She gets more fucking online engagement on Twitter, posting pre and post workout pictures than anybody in that creative room wants to give her. That's sad. 500,000 internet impressions for Jordan Grace posting post workout pictures. Y'all don't got nothing for her though. That's sad. That's fucking depressing. With all these titles going around, how much y'all want to essentially just play face, not play face. It's like keep face. There's a word I'm butchering right now. The idea is that, you're putting on a face, you're keeping kayfabe, and they're keeping kayfabe to make it look like they know what they're doing against the Tony Khan, against the Stardom, against the TGPW, against the TNA, but they have no fucking clue what they're doing. Zero. If that's not, bro, if there is no bigger evidence that they don't know what they're doing, look at Baron Corbin right now. Baron Corbin is the centerpiece of this mid-card. Baron Corbin doesn't have a match with Melo. He's not wrestling Chris Sabin. Doesn't have some insane feud going on right now with Rey Fenix. No. Baron Corbin has a feud with Little Yachty and Trick Williams, and it's going to bubble over at Sunday Night Main Event. Little Yachty, Baron Corbin. Wish I was joking. Again, none of this is nonfiction. I told you during that Kenny segment, everything after this is just complete nonfiction. These are things that's happening. For the belt, by the way. But Kairi Sane couldn't get donkey dick. Man, that's sad, man. It's fucking sad. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Let's rip this band-aid off. Let's rip off the second band-aid, shall we? These niggas are smoking crack. Oh gosh. Yao Ming cried when he seen the state of professional wrestling. Sami Zayn goes out there and he interrupts a very average match between two people who are supposed to be wrestling at a higher volume. But unfortunately, the blow off and the climax for this feud between two seasoned professionals, two Ring of Honor legends, is just a random Smackdown. Oh, and then to make things worse, the title's on the line, so some bullshit's gonna happen. Because who wants a 1, 2, 3 to end this Smackdown cleanly? Not us. No. Give us Sami Zayn completely fucking himself over with all the goodwill that he's accumulated after being right week after week after week. Just burn it all away. Why? Because we look stupid. Because when he confronts Nick Aldis about Nick Aldis' idiotic creative decisions, Nick Aldis stays silent and he hits the speed "I'm not trying to laugh" face. They know what they're doing with this Sammy shit. They know. They know that the now obvious pathway is now Sammy and Owens. They know this. Nobody wants to see a triple threat. So they've already simultaneously have carved out Owens and Sammy from this world title picture. Why? Just cause they like to fuck with you and they like to make you angry. I would love to talk about everything else about this night, but unfortunately nothing else really happens. So with all that said, that was everything that your boy had for not only Smackdown, but Dynamite. I pinky promise we're going to be getting to Collision of Ring of Honor in a video very, very, very close to you. Okay? Everything that we got from the Smackdown was fucking disappointing. It's sad. It's dog shit. I'd be better off choking in the fucking stratosphere where the air is like 16% like breathable. Honestly, I'd be better off doing that. Dynamite has very, very good qualities, but there are certain things, again, like the factions and even like some of the matches. It's just they could be better. They could be better, but neither here nor there. All right, I hope all of you stay healthy, stay hydrated, however you catch this, whenever you catch this, and as I always say, right, you all stay tuned, stay safe, stay beautiful. Peace.